Good morning and welcome to Rose Red Homestead, where today we are going to do the best rice ever, best steamed rice ever from my perspective. And I accomplished that in my combi oven. But I'm very well aware that not everybody has a combi oven, and so we're going to run a little experiment today. We're going to do one batch in the combi oven, and we're going to try to duplicate the conditions in the combi oven in my regular oven over here. And I'll tell you how we're going to do that in just a minute. For years now, my friends and relatives have been urging me to get a rice cooker because they are so wonderful. I have an aversion to buying an appliance that only does one thing. It takes up a lot of space in my cabinet, and frankly, we don't use rice that much, or at least we didn't before I learned how to do it in the combi oven. Now that has changed somewhat, and I'll share that with you later too. And I just didn't want a rice cooker. And I know that sometimes they can be used for other things too, but I just did not want the bother of yet another appliance that I had to find room for, either on my countertop or in some of my cabinets, which are already crammed. So when we got our combi oven and I was looking through the recipes that it can do, and it said best steamed rice, I was very intrigued. Well, and no doubt, because I'm used to cooking rice on my stovetop. And when you cook rice on the stovetop, as those of you who also do it know, you just have to watch it every minute so that it doesn't boil over. Turn it down low, keep checking it, and it's a little bit of a pain. I kind of have gotten it down to where I can pretty much guess and walk away after a little bit. But with doing it in the oven, you just set the parameters and you can walk away, and in 30 minutes you have lovely, lovely rice. Now, here's how we're going to do this rice. In these flat pans, this is what my combi oven called on for us to do. This is 2 cups of rice. I'm now going to add 3 cups of water. And I tried to get another pan exactly like this because I do need another one anyway, but they're sold out, so I wasn't able to do that. The closest thing I have is this this regular 9 by 11 or whatever they are. So it calls for a tablespoon of oil, and I'm using avocado oil, and a half a teaspoon of salt. And then we stir that around, and we equally distribute the rice throughout the pan. As much as possible. It's not possible to do it totally even. And now this pan is ready. So we will do the same thing to the other side. Now for the combi oven, the temperature for cooking is 212. That is the temperature where water boils at sea level. Where we are, it actually boils at 203, but it's not a big deal, it doesn't matter. But it automatically sets the temperature, and it is on 100% full steam, and the heat is coming from the back. And then it goes for 30 minutes. Now this one, we're going to try to duplicate that, but because the temperature in any regular oven, conventional, not convection, but conventional regular oven, is uneven all around, I've upped the temperature. We're going to try it at 250 degrees and with as much steam as I can generate using what I have been doing when I bake bread. With steam before I got my combi oven. This is what I had in the bottom of my oven. This is just a foil pan, and you can see it's been there for a while. It's got some stains on it, but this is lava rock. And I put this in the bottom of the oven and preheat it right along with the oven until those lava rocks are just as hot as can be. And then I throw ice on the top. That ice hits those hot stones, and we've got steam. And so while this rice is cooking, I'm going to be vigilant about monitoring the steam and throwing ice on here at any time I need it. We're going to see how it works out. So I'm ready to preheat my oven. I'm going to do it from my phone. Start preheating. And as you can see, it just went on. Now I'm also going to preheat my conventional oven, 250, and I'm going to put this back in the oven right now so it can preheat as well. All right, we're going to let those two ovens preheat, and we'll come back when we're ready to put these rice pans in the oven. This oven was the first to get preheated, so let's go ahead and dump our ice in. And here goes the rice. Okay, we have about 30 minutes, and I'll probably come and replace that ice a couple of times. So let's check to see how the combi is doing. Okay, I just got buzzed and the preheating is done. You can see the steam is already going. The inside of the glass is completely humidified. So in we go. You saw that burst of steam as I stood aside. And there we go. And I'm going to start the timer, which is right here, for 30 minutes. So I don't have to do anything to this when I'm done. I will just continue to monitor the regular oven. So we'll be back when both are done and out of the oven. Well, this is done after 30 minutes. The one over in the other oven is not anywhere near done. I have increased the temperature after 20 minutes over there to 300 instead of 250. And so we'll see what happens. I've put 2 additional batches of ice in there. This one is completely done. So let's go ahead and stop the cooking. And standing back to let the steam out. And let's get this over to the counter and we'll take a look at it. Okay, this is completely done. It is beautiful. You can just fluff it and the grains separate easily. Soft, tender. It's absolutely perfect. So we're going to let this cool down, and then when we take the other one out, I'll bring you back and we'll do the very same thing to test it to see how it is. Well, we are calling it on this rice. It has been in there for 1 hour and 15 minutes, and for the last 15 minutes I've kept coming in to taste it, and it's not improving. And I even added a little bit of extra water to see if I could moisten it a little bit. The top was drying out in spite of the fact, one of the things that I learned about the way that I put the ice on the lava rock, that was not generating enough steam. So I ended up just putting in a pint of water. I did not want to cover the lava rock because I wanted the lava rock to sit above the water level and have the water seep in to all of the nooks and crannies of the lava rock so that it would evaporate faster, and that worked like a charm. I also raised the oven temperature finally up to 350, and it got that water to boiling, so the oven was very steamy for about the last half of the cook, which was good, but it did not overcome the dryness of that oven. The oven is a larger, much larger space than my combi oven, so it would take an awful lot of steam. But you can probably see that this is gooey. It's not cooked super well, and it's mushy on the bottom. So I think that I would not recommend that we try to steam rice in a regular oven. But if you have a rice cooker or just on the stove, that would be the best place to have your best steamed rice. And we appreciate the fact that we have this way to cook rice. And I wanted to in the combi oven. And this time I'm going to set this aside because I want to talk about rice for a minute. I had Jim taste it too, and the rice never did get fully cooked even after 1 hour and 15 minutes. So this is how much rice the combi oven generated. I love these little food saver dishes that I have. They have this little thing that's this little plug on the top that you can completely remove so that steam can escape. And you see that I've done that while these are cooling. Now, one of the things that, I learn things all the time, and I seek after learning all the time. And as I tried out this rice in our combi oven, it made more rice than we can eat for one meal. So I just decided I'm going to start doing something a little bit new with how we manage our food. And so I love how the rice turns out in that combi oven. And so I put it in these little storage jars. Last time I only got 2. This time I think I packed it looser and I got about 2.5. But I keep these right in the refrigerator. And during the week, we have 2 or 3 meals where we can use rice. And oh my gosh, it is so fast and easy to not have to cook the rice along with cooking whatever else is going to go with the rice. All I have to do is just heat it in the microwave and it's just as good as new. So I want to show you how that works. We're going to let these cool completely for several hours. We'll come back later and we're going to show you one of the dinner dishes that we use with this rice. So we will be back later. It's been a couple of days since we did the front part of this video on steamed rice, and it's 5:30 right now. We usually eat at 6, so I'm going to see if I can get this together in time for supper in just about 30 minutes. And we use this rice for so many things, and the thing that I love about it is that when we cook one batch of rice, you saw how many of these little things it filled. It filled 2.5, and that's going to give us at least 3 meals. And it's great when we can do large batch cooking, like I call this large batch, because it does more than 1 meal for us, because if I were to do it and cook that rice every single time, it would be 3 times the energy used to cook the rice. So this is an energy savings as well as a money savings too. So in addition to beef stroganoff that we use the rice for, and sweet and sour that we use the rice for, and stir fry, this Italian beef and rice is really a good one. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. And I have in the bottom here just enough oil. I just sprayed a little bit of oil to get the bottom a little bit moist with the oil. It's not even a tablespoon. So I'm going to use a pound of our hamburger that we vacuum sealed the other day. Was that you, Jim? Did you make that sizzling sound? You were a character.
I don't hear it. I don't hear it.
Oh, my nutty husband. So I'm just going to break this up a little bit. You're funny, Jim.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and then I'm putting in a 1/2 cup of onions. These were freeze-dried, and I did reconstitute them in advance. And I'm going to put in the green bell pepper. I used a 1/2 of a green pepper. And here is 1 rib of celery, diced. And we're just going to cook all of those until the veggies get a good head start, and the meat may not be done, but it won't be very pink anymore. So we will be back when we're ready to do the next step on this mixture. Here's what it looks like, and this time, Jim, no sound effects. Just what's natural.
Not? Sounds like a good idea.
No, just let them hear what is actually happening. Okay, so I have a couple of cans of tomatoes, diced tomatoes, or these are, diced, and these are petite. We just use whatever is out there. These are not Italian. The recipe calls for Italian, but that is okay. And I'm now going to add the Italian parsley, which is actually Italian parsley. But if you didn't have any Italian parsley, you could use just regular parsley. You could even use dried parsley. This recipe is going to be linked below, and then it is called Food Storage Meals, and that's exactly what this is. So I'm now going to add a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. Smells good. We love pepper.
That isn't probably enough.
Well, we can fix it at the table. And there's some salt. All right, I'm going to stir this. Ooh, doesn't it look good?
Looks very nice.
And I'm going to turn it down quite a bit. Put the lid on. And we're going to let that simmer for 12 to 15 minutes. So we'll be back. Well, this has had its 15 minutes of simmering time. So let's take a look. Oh, it looks yummy. Smells really good, doesn't it, Jim?
It smells very good.
We have only 2 more things to do. Now, I have measured 2 cups of rice. So in it goes, pre-cooked, beautiful steamed rice. And we're going to stir this in. And let it get all warm. Make sure it's warmed well. Oh, it looks really good. All right, the minute that comes back to a bubble, we will put in the spinach and just leave it until it barely wilts. I think I'll put the lid back on and give it a minute. Jim just thought he was videoing and he wasn't, so we missed adding the spinach. I just added 3 handfuls of the spinach and wilted the spinach in the hot mixture. And I have dished up these 2 bowls right here and sprinkled them each with a little bit of this Parmesan Romano. This Parmesan Romano has been, we got a special buy on it 5 years ago. And it has been in these pint jars out in the outdoor refrigerator for 5 years, and it's perfectly good. So I'm going to take a quick taste test and see how it is. Both the celery and the bell pepper are still a little bit crispy. It's lovely. It's really a nice little crunch. They're done, but they're not soggy, which is great. So we're going to head out to the porch and finish our dinner. And I hope that this has been helpful to you. Now remember, the recipe will be, this is recipe number 6 in the document that is listed under our recipe section of our regular website. So just go to the website, the link is below, and you can, once you get there, it's the top listed one, Food Storage Meals. So thank you for being with us, and we will see you again very, very soon.